welcome to the Questionnaires podcast, where each week we source the best questions from Yahoo Answers and attempt to provide the best advice from...
What does the ozone layer taste like, and how can I replicate it?
To...
If we are what we eat, are cannibals the only true humans?
We're here to prove that every question deserves an answer. Joining with me this week, as always, is Marcus.
Hello, Tom.
And Damien.
Nice to eat you, Tom.
We are on Skype again as week 2 of our Questionnaires quarantine is officially instated, I guess.
It's instated. That's it. Like, I mean, week 2's down. I haven't even changed clothes in like 2 weeks. It's crazy.
I can smell you through the video chat, Marcus.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but I can.
I feel really stinky.
I will say that I have a week of holidays right now, so I don't know how you could classify this as holidays, but now I'm officially in the zone as far as being like, you're in your house, you don't need to leave for anything like that or anything at all, and I just don't like having no option to be able to go out and do something. Like, I would probably stay inside if it was by my choice, but not being able to has really made me sort of feel a little bit indifferent about the situation.
I wanted to ask you, Tom, because I'm seeing this sentiment a lot online. Is a lot of people are saying, not only am I locked in my house, but I'm also locked in my house with my kid. Now, granted, your kid is very young, but how is it being not really having that freedom to kind of, be a parent outside of your house?
Escape your child, yes.
I will say, like, my daughter has been thriving in this quarantine situation. She has started crawling for the first time since being in lockdown, and she's just doing much better with her sleeping recently. I think it's basically because we're not taking her out and about, and we're not sort of throwing her routines by being at certain, being out at someone's house or something like that. So now it's like we've got nothing else to do but to keep her to her routines.
She's loving life. See, this is the thing. This is what I'm absolutely hating about the quarantine right now, is I'm seeing snaps from my my sister-in-law with my nieces, and they're progressively getting bigger and bigger and smarter. Like, by the time this quarantine's over, I feel like they're going to be full grown adults at that point. I'm like, fuck, I've just missed their whole childhood. It already feels like they're going so quickly, and then fuck this quarantine.
and that's a hard thing for all of us to see, because we're getting bigger and bigger and dumber. So we're regressing while the kids are growing. So it's a really hard thing to watch.
And we're probably getting fatter as well. Who knows? I don't know about you, but I'm eating a lot of snacks.
That's what I meant by bigger.
I'm not gonna lie. There's been a few days where Doritos was my lunch. I've had like the dust chips. It was like, all right, I'm at work, like I'm working from home. I'm typing in, and it's like, all right, guys, I'm going on lunch. I'm like, I'm not even that hungry. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the Dorito lunch.
Pizza shapes for lunch. Fuck it. That's all right. How else are you guys going, or as far as how's it been?
I've actually got a few highlights of my lockdown, I guess I would say.
Sure.
I'll rattle off 2 quick ones. One of them was we had a poker night with all the boys over video chat, which was quite fun.
Oh, yeah. That was
great.
And, because Zoom allows you to change the background to an image or a video, at one point halfway through the poker game, one of our friends changed his background to the Call on Me film clip. All the women in that yoga class. And then all of a sudden he appears on screen in his underwear, and he proceeded to work out with the women in the video clip, which was pretty great.
Very good.
That was great.
Another highlight has been one of our friends who does painting. She messaged all of us, our group chat, and said, looking for some inspiration, what are your guys' favorite animals, right? So people are like, oh, platypus, I like lions, I like tigers. And then Marcus out of nowhere just messages this, and I quote verbatim, Tom.
Okay.
Dolphins have been seen in the wild using eels as a masturbation tool. Just out of nowhere. And everyone's like,
I mean, everybody.
Is it the dildo? Is it the dildo or is it the dolphin?
I was thinking she asked for favorite animals. I've given her not just an animal, but an animal's like action. Like it's an action shot.
Oh man, that killed me when I saw that message pop up, because it seems so sincere.
I will say, back to the setting your Zoom backgrounds, what I done, because we're using Zoom at work, is I've basically, because there's no one in my office at the moment, because when I was at work it was basically skeleton staff, I changed my background to like a busy office, so there's like people in the background walking over to each other's desks and stuff, just made me feel like I was like part of an organization, not just a guy in his office on his own.
That's what you want.
There are ways to combat the loneliness.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Yeah, there's actually a story I wanted to share with you guys, but I'll save it for the end of the show. I guess we should probably get into what the show is all about.
We should actually. We'll talk more about quarantine a little bit later, but what we're going to do right now is answer some questions from the website Yahoo Answers, which is what we do each and every week. We find some questions that we think we have the advice to be able to help these people, and that's how the show works. The other thing we do is we choose a theme for each week to name the question askers, and it's my theme this week. And I have decided that with what's going on at the moment, as far as a lot of stuff is sort of closing down or getting cancelled, if you will, I thought we could name the question askers after something that has been cancelled.
Oh, all right.
Something
I can get behind
that's
it.
cancelled. It could be anything. It doesn't even necessarily be about the quarantine itself. It could be a TV show you used to love. It could be something that just doesn't exist anymore. Cancellations.
Cancellations.
I like it.
I will just speak firstly and just say that I did have a holiday planned for the Easter break, which has been cancelled, and that's affected me obviously greatly. So this is a soft spot for me. But
Right here with your brother, Europe trip cancelled. But when you look at what's happening in the world, that is the least of the problems anyway. There's a lot more bigger stuff going on.
Yeah. Look, I was going to book a holiday and then I saw everything shutting down. I'm like, I go to my fiance. I was like, nah, not doing it. She's like, oh, but and I'm like, just wait a month. Let's see what happens. And then in that month, we've been locked down in our rooms. So I think she's accepted it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go first, guys. All right. So this one here is going to come from something that actually has been cancelled for me that I think during this period, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a holiday. It's not anything like that. It's just something I was looking forward to. And that was Cirque du Soleil.
okay.
All right.
Right.
This is going to come from the whole circus, right? I was really looking forward to that. They do some crazy shit and I was ready to be wowed. And
Have you ever been?
I was meant to, yeah, I've been before. It's actually really amazing.
Yeah. I've been too.
But it was actually the weekend that it was going to happen was the weekend that we all got shut down like immediately. So it's
pretty raw.
It was really raw. It was like we just missed the bite. Like if it was a weekend before, we would have been sweet. But what can you do?
All right. Well, let's hear what's from the circus.
All right. Cirque du Soleil writes in, my wife will not talk about a movie once we have finished watching it. How do I cope with it? So perfect example was tonight. We watched Avengers Infinity War. I gave her the general gist from the movies we missed and that she had already seen a few others. So she knew majority of the backstory. We watched the movie from start to finish. No phones, just pure absorbent. That's a weird word to look at.
Like a nappy.
Yeah, like a nappy, exactly. Tom knows all about that. Movie finishes, and all I get from her was, that's a good movie. That's literally all she had to say about it. Like, what the hell? Now, it's not just this. Anytime we watch a movie, she doesn't talk about it after it. No plot debate, no dislikes, no likes, acting quality, cinematography, anything like that. Nothing. How do I cope with my wife? Cirque du Soleil.
I think this is one of those things now where like you want somebody who is willing to discuss even though it's like Avengers, which is not like high cinema, because everyone's in lockdown and all we have is like TV and film right now. You kind of want somebody that you can discuss something like that in depth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially like you're saying, especially now, but I feel like that's actually a big driving point for a lot of relationships. I can imagine, like, I find, like, not that it was like a deal breaker right from the get go. Like me and my girlfriend were like, and if they didn't talk about movies or didn't have the same sort of understanding with movies, that's it. I was going to break up with her. But it was more of a case of like, we needed to have some similar boundaries and be willing to talk about media things. Otherwise, what the hell are we going to talk about? Like, I don't want to talk about just real life all the time. Let's have a bit of a fake life.
Yeah, real life sucks.
Do you find that you have this happen to you often, Marcus, where you've put something on that you've enjoyed and you've just found that your fiance is just not having a bar of it and she hasn't said anything until like the end of the movie?
Yeah, that's happened before. It's happened recently as well, but it's more of a case of like when we're picking movies to watch, I always ask a million questions like, are you sure you're going to want to watch this? Are you going to do this? Are you going to like, do you want to watch this movie? And I sort of give her sort of a synopsis. I'm sort of getting a good vibe of what she likes and what she doesn't like, but even still, she watches the movie and I'm watching it and then I'll look over and if she's on her phone, I crack it. I'm like, you're going to ask me like in 5 minutes time, what the hell's going on? And I'm going to be pissed off about explaining it.
Thanos is about to come on the screen. Wolverine. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think with Avengers movies and stuff, you can get away with probably looking at your phone for even an hour and you'll still know what's going on. But I do think we are kind of, this guy, he's not getting the engaging discussion from his partner that he wants, right? But I think we are spoilt now when it comes to the discussion of TV shows and movies, because you can just go to straight to the internet and there's discussion threads of people picking apart every single minute of every single frame. So you can get that discussion somewhere else. Sure, it's not from your girlfriend, but it's still there. I've actually tried to stop doing it because I found myself for a long time, as soon as I'd finish watching a TV series or a movie, I'd rush straight to like a Reddit thread and read about it. And before I'd even form my own opinion, and then next thing I know, I'm just parroting everything I've read online. I'm like, hang on a second, these aren't my opinions. This is Doodle Lover 69's opinion, and I'm just regurgitating it.
Well, you might be Doodle Level 69, Damien.
In my own time, of course. But,
That's my username. It's like, you don't know, like, is that how I feel, or is it just because I've read 6 other people say that it was garbage that I thought it was garbage?
Exactly right.
I very rarely look online because you're right. I don't want to get someone else's opinion about it. If I like the movie, I like the movie. If I didn't like the movie, I didn't like the movie. But I still want my girlfriend's or fiance's sort of opinion, or like, was that a good movie? Should we watch similar movies like this, or should we go about something different?
What about if the shoe's on the other foot? Have you been in the situation where you've been recommended something by your fiance and then you've watched it and you've not liked it and you've not let them know. You've not said anything. Is that a reality?
I feel like for Tom to ask that question, that's happened to him. So please, Tom, field your own question.
No. I mean, look, I've watched a lot of movies with my wife, so I can't recall them specifically. We generally have a very similar taste in movies. More or less, it would be anything that I've brought to the table that she hasn't enjoyed. But I'm like a garbage man when it comes to the taste of, like, I'm like Templeton from Charlotte's Web. I would just literally, even like the trash
Any
is
garbage?
It's smorgasbord for me, no matter what. So I'll enjoy it no matter what. She's not the problem. I'm the problem with what I'm suggesting for her.
I think with movies especially, I like most movies. I can find the plot. I can find where you're meant to be actually feeling and enjoying it, and who you're meant to be supporting and all that, and I like it for that. So generally, I will like a movie until like maybe at the end it just falls apart completely, because a lot of movies can be like that, where it's just like it's okay up until like the very end, and the plot just falls off the edge.
It's the struggle in that third act. It just can't tie it all together well.
Yeah, exactly. When that happens, you're just like, all right, that's whatever. That's where I could fall apart with movies. But I generally like trash. I can watch any movie.
Interesting.
Forget the Oscar awards. You guys are more, you're into the Oscar the Grouch awards because you're into trash films. That's what you love.
We are into trash films.
There should be a separate ceremony where they hand out a golden statue of Oscar the Grouch. And it should
the golden trash can.
Yeah, the golden trash can.
Isn't that the Razzies though?
No, but I want it to be Sesame Street themed specifically.
All right. Let's bring it back to the question. To the question, guys. All right.
Okay.
So what should this guy do? He wants to talk movies with his fiance or wife, actually, I think it is. So what should he do? Should he actually like sort of invoke some sort of like ask some questions, or?
I would say that there are sometimes like there are movies that I know that I can watch on my own or I can't watch with certain people. So I think it's a part of knowing what other people's interests are. And she's not going to just blindly support what he believes in, or what, in this scenario, like as far as movie taste, especially with something like that's so divided or controversial as far as entertainment goes with Marvel films. Sorry if you enjoy Marvel films, but me personally, I feel like they're all very much the same.
They're popcorn films.
I think the reality is as well, some people just don't engage with media in that way. They just watch it, it's done. Yeah, that was fine. They move on, which is nothing wrong with that, but they're not looking to kind of pick it apart. Like I'm like, Marcus can probably empathize with this, and even you, Tom. Like we all play video games, but most of my friends and my partner do not care about talking about the storyline of God of War or something like that. So I looked like I will speak to people online on like forums and that type of thing, and that's where I get my fix if I want to have a conversation about that.
Here are my
I just
people.
turn to you guys. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't force those conversations if people aren't interested in it. If you're kind of like prodding your girlfriend, like, tell me what you think about Hawkeye. If she doesn't care about it, it's not going to be a good conversation.
Why Hawkeye, out of all people, is the most uninteresting guy?
That's why she's
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You have to challenge your girlfriend with the most boring character. Tell me something interesting about him.
But he is one of the hotter ones, though. Have you seen his ass?
Of course, Marcus.
that ass though. Ooh,
The Hawkeye fan cam that's just focused on his ass. I've seen you.
on his booty.
So what are you
That's
saying?
America's ass.
What are you saying this person should do then? Just find someone else, or just to talk about it with?
Look, I think it's okay to broach it with your girlfriend, but if she doesn't care about it, I would not force her to do it, because she's probably going to actively disdain watching movies with you if she knows you're going to give her 21 questions straight after it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. Find your people. Like Damien, he's found his gaming people. I mean, we're here, Damien. We're, like, I know we're like physically far away, but we're just one computer screen away. It's okay. You can talk to us.
I feel like I just have to say that, like, it was so great to be able to tell you that I finished Resident Evil 2 the other day. I had no one else to talk to about it, so I'm glad I have you guys.
Please talk to me all about games, because I'm trying to bring my fiance into games. Like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm realizing she doesn't love it.
It's not going to happen.